think the hardest part about rugby is the fact that you have to be strong and physically able to sprint everywhere for 80 minutes.
You hit people, the game never stops. It's all about hand-eye coordination. You know, you're getting pretty up close and personal to some of those guys.
Very extensive running, heavy contact, ball handling skills, much like football or things like that, but it uses a lot of your mind as well. You have to think steps ahead of where you want to be in the next phase, what you're planning to do, where the ball needs to go.
Rugby is one of the best team sports I've ever been a part of, in the fact that everybody has everybody's back. It's not like a sport like baseball where each person has a set position and they really don't have much interaction with other players. In rugby, everybody has to know how to do everything, and everybody really backs each other up. If one guy is there to make a tackle, there's a guy standing right next to him ready to make the tackle with him.
It has the conditioning of football is hardest and soccer all built into one. You're tackling people and then you're expected to run for 45 minutes straight.
No shin guards, no knee pads, no helmets, no shoulder guards, just shirt, pants, and cleats.
Being in rugby shape is different from other sports because you have to be muscular and you have to have power and strength, and you also have to have speed and endurance. And if you have one of those, if you're a really big, strong guy, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a good player. You have to have a balance.
First of all, it's not a field, it's a pitch. And it's really more of like a mental game because you get hit, you go to the ground, you don't have any time to waste, you have to get right back up and just get to your spot and get ready to hit somebody or get hit again, or just you always have to be in support of everybody, and it's really just non-stop action.
I enjoy playing rugby because of how physical it is, but I don't necessarily enjoy some of the pain that comes with it. You know, it's something you really have to commit to. In terms of comparison with football, I think football actually hurts more. It's just the dings and bruises from rugby that kind of suck. You know, for instance, I've got this cut on my lip. Those things, you know, they get old, but at the same time, you know, it builds character and it really keeps you going. It keeps you. You know that no matter what life throws at you, well, I've dealt with the rugby. I've dealt with 90 minutes or 80 minutes of rugby before.
Yeah, Rope, we got you. Hey, just play. Water. Give him some water. He's good.
I played offensive line in high school. I know I'm a little smaller now, but I like to say I got all the scholarship offers from all the schools that wanted a 5'9", 190-pound offensive lineman. So the search process was pretty quick. You know, growing up, it was always Tennessee, and did one application, got in, knew I wanted to play rugby, and now I'm here having the time of my life. So.
One thing I really enjoy about rugby is just how physical it is and how the bigger man most of the time will win the battles. Just being a big guy myself, it's really fun to go out there and use my size as my advantage and try and do as much for my team as possible.
You know, a lot of people think that it's size that wins all the battles in rugby, but speed has a lot to do with it too. You know, a big guy can certainly hit a guy like me with a lot of force, but he has to catch me first.
What was appealing about rugby was that it was still a team sport, and I felt like it kind of mixed both soccer and football because it had the contact and intensity of football, but it had the team chemistry and the strategy of soccer, which I really enjoyed.
So come out like this. Make sure your shoulders are square when you're coming into that. Okay? Once you got there, your body position's fine, but you've got to make an impact. you want to hear him go ooh when you hit him. You hit him more like okay, so let's do sand purple.
It's fine, San Diego, purple, 4-3-9. 1, 2, 3, down.
I think I like rugby so much, just like the intensity behind it, like just getting the ball and just going. And when you're on defense, just matching up with the guy across from you and just showing him who's boss, basically. just taking it to him and showing who's more man.
My position on the field is fly half, number 10. And a lot of what we do on the field as far as strategy is concerned is create space. So when something happens on the field, we have a ruck over here. We want to use the space that we have sucked in the defense. We want to use that space wide. And a lot of what we do here at UT is play fast. So we'd like to play fast. We'd like to attack, and get the defense on the back foot so that we can take advantage of the space that we've created.
I've played a host of sports throughout my life, and rugby is by far the most demanding overall. It's different from football in the fact that it's not just a one-on-one big hit. You're using every muscle in your body. There's sprints, there's long distance. You can't just be in shape for one play and take a play off. And that was what most surprised me when I started playing rugby, was the fact that I was using everything: strength, agility, speed, vision, rather than just focusing on one or two things to be good at a sport.
You will not find a higher level of commitment anywhere else in the country. These young men are committed to the game. They play the game because they love the sport. They love playing rugby. And they're using the game to fulfill that fire inside of them that gives them that competitive edge.
If you love camaraderie and hard work, then this would be the place for you, because it's not an easy task, but it's still a fun one.
Being in college is an important time in any person's life, and it's important to find a family here at college. And if you're planning on coming to UT, it's a great place to find your family here on the rugby team, because there are a lot of people with some great goals, and everyone's striving to be the best person they can be.
It really has been everything. It kind of shaped my whole college career of who I met, who I hung out with, and gave me more of a purpose of just waking up and going to school, making decent grades just to get by.
Like with football and some other sports, it seems like everything was so tense and uptight before games and everything. But one thing I like about with us, we all keep it fun, and not never like too serious. We know how to be serious when the time comes for it. But we're all just a group of friends hanging out and playing a sport that we all like. So.
The unique thing about rugby is it is a sport where the athlete chooses to play, and in most instances they're paying their own way to play. And they're not playing in front of thousands of fans in big stadiums. They're playing because they love the game, and they love the men that they're playing around, and they love the sport.
I don't know of any other sport or any other activity where you can play it around the world and you're virtually accepted, no matter if I were to go to New Zealand or Australia or anywhere else in the U.S. for the fact that I've done the past couple summers. It's a common bond and a common brotherhood that everyone shares, and there's opportunities to play everywhere, there's opportunities to work everywhere, and everyone, the way everyone interacts is different from any other activity or sport that I've been in.
It's a great competitive atmosphere, and the brotherhood of the team is just great, and it's always something new and fun, even in practice, so it's always fun to win also.
I just want to say to the team how extremely proud I am as a captain, how we've come together in the past 6 to 8 months and persevered through a lot of the obstacles that we've faced.
We have to remember that when freshmen come on campus, this is the first time many of them have been away from home. And some of them have to learn time management. And we like to think we play a role in that. We help them with their academic studies when they first get here to make sure they keep their priorities. We understand that our priorities here are family, school, rugby, and guys will hear that hundreds of times over the course of their academic career. Their first priority has got to be to their faith in their family. And then we focus on academics, and then we play a lot of rugby.
Being a part of playing at the University of Tennessee Rugby just helped me all through college. Coming in freshman year, everyone was really accepting. I mean, the goals were definitely laid out there that we're a club that wants to win. But inside of that, it's family, school, rugby are our main values, and the club never fails to accentuate those values each and every day.
I think a couple of principles in rugby that really boil down to my philosophy, both coaching and in life, is commitment and integrity. I think it's very important that we be committed to whatever we're doing, because if you're not going to be committed to something, then you're probably going to fail. So you have to have a commitment to it, and you have to wear that commitment proudly.
It's a big commitment to be on the team. As a freshman, coming from high school where you just would go after school for an hour or so, it was a big different, practicing almost every day, expected to be conditioning outside of it. So it was a huge commitment for me, and learning to keep that commitment has been great for me. It's a life skill I appreciate, and you can apply it to school work and your work. It's just being able to stick with the commitment that you've made.
Rugby has really pulled a lot of dedication out from me that I didn't think that I had before. It's demanded a lot of time from me, a lot of time that I didn't think that I was willing to give it first. And as you kind of get support from your teammates and support from other groups surrounding rugby, you really truly love it, and it makes you want to come out for things, for practice and for games, and be much more dedicated than I would have. Things like community service we do and things of that nature that just really pulls your time out, and some things that I didn't think I would be able to do before, but it's really made me a better person being able to dedicate my things to other than school and myself.
The second thing, I guess, is integrity, and do the right thing. Yeah, even when no one's looking, do the right thing. And on the rugby field, there's 30 players and one referee. It's very easy to get away with doing the wrong thing, but we don't do that here at the University of Tennessee. We do the right thing, even when no one's looking. And that carries off the field for me. I use that every day in my life, and I hope the players do as well. And I know they do because I see it.
I'd say UT Rugby values honor above everything else. We're a very honorable program. Like our coach says every time we go out, win with honor. Don't, we play some teams that, try and make us, do things we shouldn't, but we try our best to stay the most honorable.
And the thing with rugby is we get a chance to practice those principles by making decisions under pressure. I mean, decision making under pressure is a cornerstone for rugby, because you've got the entire other team coming after you, and you have to choose what to do with the ball. And if you fail, your team fails, because it's one fail, all fail. And so you have to make good choices under the most extreme conditions, and we do that the rest of our lives.
Rugby's definitely helped my maturity in terms of actually having to make sure I come to everything, and I make sure that I'm fully a part of the team. There's no cutting corners. There's no cutting corners in practice, conditioning, things like that. You have to be at everything. It's 6 o'clock practice, Wednesday morning isn't fun, but you learn through the years that if you don't go, other people don't go. So it comes down to really just sticking to what you're supposed to do.
Being here at UT, I'd say rugby has served me a lot by being a lot more dedicated. I have to succeed in the classroom, being here first for an education, and rugby helps me motivate myself to be just as good as I can in the classroom as well.
Commitment and hard work. I mean, you're out there for 80 minutes. I don't know. Football, you play 15 minutes, you sprint, you're done, you get to rest for 35 minutes. Rugby's not like that, I mean, I like to say it's like soccer, except we actually hit people, and I mean, getting out there, and I mean, there's going to be times in that game where you're just like, I don't know if I can go any further, but you look around, you see the guys that are doing it, and everybody kind of pushes you forward, and it really gives you a chance to be a leader. I mean, you don't have to be, obviously I'm not the biggest guy. I mean, most of the guys in my position weigh 30, 40 pounds, but a bit more than me. But, you get a chance to go out there and you just focus on the things that you do well, and you try to have that motor running all the time, and people kind of draw to that, get everybody excited, and, support everybody.
My major's history, and playing rugby's definitely helped me because I wasn't the best student coming in, but there's a lot of good students on the team, and especially living with some of the guys, seeing how they study and things like that has really helped me to learn really how to be a better student.
Well, I think the sport of rugby is a wonderful teaching tool for personal responsibility. I had to learn it early on when I played rugby. I had to balance my time, and it was up to me to do that. And there's no greater sport to do that than rugby, because when you have the ball in your hands in rugby, you have 15 guys chasing you, and there's nothing between you and them except a little air. And so you have to be prepared in what you're going to do. And if you don't play the ball well, no one else on your team can play it. So you learn that personal responsibility early on, and then it flows outside the lines.
A couple of traits that I've developed since I've been at UT have definitely been my leadership and also my time management skills. That's through being an officer the last couple of years, and also making sure my priorities are straight with family, school, and rugby.
Double majoring and playing a sport in college is extremely difficult no matter what you're majoring in and what you're playing. And you basically separate that in two different difficulties. The difficulties of rugby and how am I going to get better, and how am I going to move up the depth chart, and how am I going to be the best that I can be. And difficulties of managing the time to make sure that you're laying out your class schedule and what you need to do so you can succeed in both academics and sports.
I'm studying kinesiology here, and it's a pretty tough major, and rugby just helps to relieve that stress that comes along with it, and being able to play and win games just keeps school interesting because you always have something to look forward to, even if you do bad on a test.
I think rugby has really developed confidence more in me, because to play the game, you know, you got to have a little bit of confidence and swagger, I guess you'd say, when you step out on the field, because, you know, without it, there's no way you'll be able to succeed.
We're doing our job. Our back line is coming up even and fast, and we're making tackles. Okay, but that's not one guy, that's 15 guys doing it. We play fast and hard, and we win today.
Oh, yeah,
it's as simple as that. Look at the guy across from you guys. That's who you're doing it with. Go out and make that guy proud of you today. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Hey, boys, I just want to say one thing. Something that's been bugging me all fucking week and shit. I don't want this to be our last match in these jerseys, man. I don't want this to be the last match playing for UT Rugby, all right? Think about that. Dig deep. Let's get a lot of desire.
Let's go, boys. Let's go, boys!
Let's fuck these guys up, okay? Let's go to fucking Utah, all right? Fuck 3 fires on 3. 1, 2, 3, fire, fire, fire!
Let's go, UT! Let's go, boys! Let's go, Marty! Let's go, boys! Let's go, Brent! Let's go!
The players on the team, some of the captains on the team, have a lot more control, and they have a lot more leadership than some other sports, especially in like high school football. It's the coaches control everything and lead everything, but here our coaches have allowed a lot of the players to actually step up and be the leaders on the team, and because of that, I don't know, maybe feel a little more comfortable, and it's just we all have a little more responsibility, I guess, in a way.
Coaches can't really help you a lot of the time, so you're pretty much on your own in the field and when you make decisions, and it's just a big decision-making game for yourself.
I actually played college rugby at Tennessee Tech back in the 80s. I was a fly half, and we were a struggling team, and it was self-coached for the most part. We had a couple of fellows that helped us out a little, but not much, and that's one of the things that I wanted to focus on when I began coaching is I didn't want another student athlete to go through kind of what I had to go through and learn the game all on my own. We have a lot of guys that help us here at UT. Andy Allen's a UT old boy. He was a forward when he played years ago, and he really helps keep both us on track on the field and off the field as well.
This group of guys that we got out here right now, I'm as proud of them as any group. It's a team without a bunch of stars, without a bunch of preseason hype or anything else like that. That's done a great job getting everything they can out of themselves. They're living up and exceeding a lot of people's expectations, except for probably their own. I know they expect a lot, and we're asking a lot out of them, and it's been a lot of fun this year. It's a little bit concerning. I mean, let's look at it this way: we're in the quarterfinals right now, the SEC. We got to win and keep going. And honestly, are we probably going to beat Georgia? Yeah, we should. and then we should probably take care of business in the SEC. If you're not focused, though, you don't come out of Knoxville. Okay? We want to finish our season here or in Utah?
Utah.
Okay. Well, let's draw up the focus and let's get there. Let's all get on that championship page. Guys, I appreciate you coming out, working hard every day. You've been out here in the cold and the rain and the heat. And when I'm in a bad mood, and Marty's in a bad mood, and we're taking it out on you, you've been here, you've had great attitude, and got a lot done. I'm proud of you. Thank you.
David Codavilla is a great guy who just joined the program. He played at Cal. He's a forward, a big lock. He really gets the forwards going.
Right. Pause. Engage. Settle. Squeeze. Sink. Lift.
I want them shattered. All right, don't save anything out there. All right. Most likely you're going to come at halftime. Okay. Most likely we're going to have at least another forward sub right around halftime. Don't save it for anything, boys.
Hey, a little higher, bro. A little higher. Yeah, there it is.
Crouch.
Position.
Touch.
Let's go.
Pause. Engage. All 8 of you.
Sink. And up. And sink. And up. All right, break it up. You may be able to see something that somebody else can't. You know Elliott's over there. Switch the ball. You know, keep your bind. Switch the ball. Keep it moving forward. Okay? It's not that tricky. You just got to make that decision and run with it pretty good.
Michael Weldon's a UTO boy. He's a back, and he helps us with the back lines. Mike's a very high energy, forceful kind of guy, and he plays a hard brand, and he coaches a hard brand. He coached at high school for a number of years, and his teams were always very physical and very forward running, and he brings that to our staff now.
If the 12 and 13 are switched out, it doesn't matter, man. We should be good enough to know that we're going to play an inside-out defense, no matter what. So if I'm an outside center, you know, and I've made my tackle, and I'm running across the field, and my inside center is sitting right there, and they're getting ready to move the ball, I'm going to slide him out. You know, push out, push out, push out, and I'll get in this slot. Okay? I'd like to actually say thank you, because I probably get more out of this than I give. It's my pleasure. Rugby is one of the greatest loves of my life, and that's why I'm back out here. Certainly not for the money. But, you know, I mean, it's always been a huge part of my life. It kept me in school for a long time. Honestly, it's made me a better person, and I love to give back as much as I can. As much as I've gotten out of it, I'm going to try to give back in my lifetimes.
Mark Donaldson has joined our staff just a couple of years ago, and he really focuses on backline play and kickoffs and things like that, and also works with us a lot on the administrative side. Mark has brought an element to the coaching staff of statistical analysis that we never had before, and that has been very beneficial for us.
Rugby is a great game played by great people, and it's a game where a kid can use all of the skills that he's picked up in playing other sports and apply it in a single game, and it's a game that requires every kid to have all of the skills that are necessary to play the game. You get to do a little bit of everything. You got to run, you got to tackle, you got to handle the ball, you got to play defense, you got to learn about space and the relationships of your players. So it combines all of the good elements of football, basketball, hockey, soccer into one game. I would tell the guys to cherish every opportunity to play the great game of rugby with a great bunch of friends.
Joe Saragusa has just joined us, and Joe is a financial guy by day, but he was a hard-nosed forward when he played up in the Northeast a few years ago, and he brings that to us as well. Joe helps run our Wednesday morning sessions, and he's a forward, so he gets those boys going.
today's the day we win the East Division. It's one step towards our goal. Okay, so let's get our heads in it and let's go. All right, who's going to lead us today? Biggs.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Let's get it done, boys.
All right.
It means a lot to me that I can get with a group of guys and we can all just thank the Lord for what he's done for us and ask him to protect us as we go out there in the field of battle. And it's a really great atmosphere to be a part of.
I know a lot of guys on the team are spiritual, and there are a lot of opportunities to share that with each other. We pray before games, and then we also have a weekly Bible study. But for the guys that aren't, they don't have it shoved down their throats. Nobody alienates against anybody else for what they believe.
Through the help of Hank, we kind of started a rugby team Bible study. It's kind of a small group of us that come, probably somewhere up around 10 to 12 people usually come.
This last year has just been an incredible year getting to know some of these guys from the rugby team. I first met Lucas Herrera. We struck up a friendship, and Lucas really began to grow in his understanding of what it meant to have a true, authentic relationship with God. Well, after we met a couple of weeks, he asked and invited his roommate Joe to come. And so all three of us got together down at Jason's Deli a couple weeks and found out real quickly these guys were so interested in what it really meant to have a relationship with God.
My life before I realized what my relationship with Christ was about was actually just sort of an imitation of a relationship, and it wasn't really about living for Christ or with Christ. And so once I realized what that relationship was all about, it was a humbling experience and an experience that I'm forever grateful for and indebted to.
And one of the guys said, hey, why don't we do this with a rugby team? And I know a couple other guys on the team that may be interested in doing this. So last spring, early in March, we had our very first rugby team Bible study. There were 7 guys that showed up, and we had a blast.
It's another way for us to get together and talk about God as who we love, and just be able to share our faith in a comfortable environment with our friends.
When I first came to the rugby Bible study, it was essentially my church. I hadn't found a church, and I wasn't going to church regularly on Sunday, and so that was initially the only time during the week where I was growing my faith with God. And that coupled with an opportunity to grow in my relationship with my teammates, it was something that was really important to me, and that's why I've stuck with it for this 2 years now, because I'm growing with my teammates, I'm growing with God, and those are 2 of the most important things to me right now.
Before this year in the Bible study that we've had as a team, I always thought about God and thought about Jesus and everything like that, but I never took it that serious, especially in college.
When I started on the rugby team, I didn't know if there was any other Christians or any other people that shared my same viewpoints of faith, and I think that was really encouraging to find out there's a Bible study and be able to participate in that and see that there's other players that are struggling with the same things I am and trying to learn more about Christ like the same way I am.
Before the Bible study, I was a Christian. I grew up in a Christian family, but the way I viewed it was more of, okay, you go to church every now and then and you pray when you need to, and more of just like, it's kind of like on a need basis instead of a want, and just like you really want to go after it and you want to read and you want to learn. It was more of just a kind of going through the steps type thing.
The Bible study has been just such an amazing blessing in my life, and I'm in a Bible study right now with the guys I live with in the house, and those are my closest friends, and they're the guys that I am willing to share more private parts of my life with, and I trust them, and they love me and I love them, and they're looking out for me and they want what's best for me. So it's just really special that I get to share that with them, pursue my relationship with Christ with them.
The Bible study is awesome. Great group of guys that grow in Christ, and I think the biggest thing that I learned from the Bible study is that it doesn't matter how old you are, it's that we all play rugby and we can all come together through Christ at the same time.
I heard the rugby team was doing a Bible study, and I immediately was interested in, I was very big a part of the church in high school as a kid, and in college I found some churches that I liked, but nothing seemed to click, and this Bible study came up for me, and I had tried one before, but I didn't really know any of the guys. I didn't really relate well with them, and with rugby Bible study, it was kind of like guys I was with all the time.
We do a lot of things in the Bible study, but one thing I really appreciate about it is the actually accepting of Christ and as an inside move instead of coming from an outside perspective and trying to change your outside mannerisms like going to church and whatnot. You have to actually accept Him in your heart before you can actually start to see the outside changes. That's what I appreciate about it.
To me, Christ is a teacher, and He's somebody that you need to try as hard as you can to live your life like. You're never going to get there, but as long as you're trying, you're going to live a very solid life.
Christ to me He's my rock, and He just helps me with all my frustrations. And whenever I get upset at people or the world around me, I can always go to the Bible and read the good word and just get a moment to myself and relax.
To me, Christ is a redeemer, and a redeemer really emphasizes the idea of being bought back. And I think we have been kind of like lost and separated from Christ, but Christ has bought back our lives by dying on the cross for us. So I think that's really important, and definitely I've seen that in my own life.
To me, Christ is my one true father. For me, I grew up without a dad, and after my childhood, I just really embraced the fact that He's my father, and just every day I learn about how much He loves me, and that's just something that I didn't have growing up.
For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. For God has not given me the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound.
That was close. Good. You're doing
All right.
great. Big breath.
Big doggy.
All right.
That if I perish, I will.
That's okay.
What is it? I don't have personal. How do I?
Sorry, I forgot to say that.
Do it personal. That's okay. Do it personal.
Let it sink in.
If I confess with my mouth.
You're okay. Just start the second one.
If I confess with my mouth that.
No, you're doing great, man. You're doing great. It's okay. It's hard.
It's the camera. I think that's right, isn't it?
Okay, one more time, and then say Jeremiah 29:11. Okay, ready?
All right. For I know the plans that God has for me. Dang it.
That's okay. Dang it again. Start again.
All right.
And say 29:11. Jeremiah 29:11 again. Okay.
Okay, yeah. For I know the kids. I saw him finally. All right, am I in the spot?
You're good. You're good.
Well, I've always been a happy person, but I really feel like the past year I've really started to search for what I'm finding joy in, and I really think that this rugby team and the camaraderie and the competition on the team and the success that we've had this season is something that I've really found joy in, and I think the Bible study is a big part of that as well, and realizing that there's other guys on the team that not only have the rugby goal of trying to be great at a sport in mind, but they also have the lifelong goal of living a Christ-filled life as well.
For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7.
For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish, but have eternal life. John 3:16.
For God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7.
God has overlooked the times of ignorance, but now He demands that all people everywhere repent, because He has established a day on which He will judge the world with justice.
Through a man He has appointed, and He has provided confirmation for all by raising Him from the dead. Acts 17:30-31.
For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11.
If you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, you will be saved. Romans 10:9.
If I confess with my mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe that God raised Him from the dead, I will be saved. Romans 10:9.
Before I came to UT, I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years and worked as a aviation electronics technician and was an enlisted air crew. I knew I wanted to hang my hat on something. I knew I had to be a part of something coming out of the Marine Corps, and it was just something to be a part of. Everybody I knew from high school was pretty much graduated or about to graduate, so I knew I had to meet a group of guys to get in tight with, and this was my chance. Now that I've gotten to UT, it's been a little bit of a change of pace and everything, but the rugby team has definitely kept me grounded and made me feel at home here, and not really made me feel left out because of my time in the military.
As a biomedical engineer, I have challenging coursework, but playing rugby gives me the way to blow off some steam, and it helps me just connect with people more that I usually wouldn't typically connect with.
Being a part of Tennessee Rugby has really helped me balance my academics and social life. It's a way to get away from school for a while and get out and have fun and play a competitive sport. And I've enjoyed making new friends, getting to know upperclassmen that otherwise I probably would have just stayed within my little small group of friends, but this has helped me to expand my group of friends and people that I know, and it's been a lot of fun getting to know people.
Did you check it out?
How warm in the water.
Once you break through the film of ice, it's really warm.
Yeah. Oh, it's so warm down there. If you can break through.
Right.
It's like a hot tub. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I don't even like heights.
It's been really fun to get to know a lot of people. I was intimidated kind of to come into a new sport at a new college where I didn't know anybody. I didn't know rugby kind of has a rough image about it, and I thought maybe I was just going to be kind of by myself because I didn't really know anybody on the team, but I've enjoyed just getting to know people, and upperclassmen have been really nice to me, and I think it's just been a blast to go and have fun and travel with them on weekends.
It's really, really good being on the team. You make a lot of friends that you're probably going to have for a long time. They're really solid people. They're not just about, having a good time. They're really about, coming together as a team. I think that's what brought us together, really. That's why people come here to play sports or play rugby in general is to be part of a team and to, make lifelong friends.
You got a little rut. You can. Yes.
Being in college is an important time in any person's life, and it's important to find a family here at college. And if you're planning on coming to UT, or thinking about it, it's a great place to find your family here on the rugby team, because there are a lot of people with some great goals, and everyone's striving to be the best person they can be on and off the field, and I think that's really important. And a lot of role models are on this team, and a lot of people you can look up to, and they won't steer you down the wrong path.
With this being my first year playing rugby here and everything, the team has been really open to accepting me, and I formed really strong bonds, even being a first year with a couple of older guys, because everybody's really open and accepts everybody, and it's just, there's no cliques in the team, everybody's one team, and even with the friendships, it's the same way.
For somebody that is coming into college, I think the rugby club would be a great thing to get involved with. When I came in, I had absolutely no experience, and I've been able to have a whole lot of fun and get a whole lot of playing time. And for somebody that's coming in, it also offers a great group of guys to interact with. I know a lot of people coming into school don't necessarily have a large group of friends that they can immediately start bonding with, but the rugby club just picks up people immediately and draws them in, and it offers a lot of opportunities to get to know guys.
It's a great group of guys, I mean, you come down here, no matter if you're from Tennessee, not from Tennessee, you come down here and it's an instant social network group of guys, I mean, you're going to go out there, you're going to work hard, you're going to, and it's going to force you to do well in school and all that kind of stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, you're going to have a really, really good time doing it. We're very successful on the rugby pitch, and you're going to learn rugby more than, I guarantee, I don't care what school you played at in high school or how much experience you have, you're going to learn the game of rugby, and you're going to learn it from some of the best people in the business. And not only are you going to do that, but you're going to make friends that last your whole life. I mean, it's just that kind of bond that just lasts forever.
3 fighters on 3. 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, baby. Woo!
Son of a bitch.
You know, 100%. I gave you that talk. I gave you that talk before the game about it's about the team. And you know, when those final seconds, all I could think of was, man, now I gotta plan a trip to Utah. For about 15 seconds there, it was all about me. But no, it's not anymore, guys. Man, I am so proud to be a coach of this team.
Hey guys, Marty put this whole thing together. Thank you, Marty. Hey, for the coaches.
Look, boys, we got 2 more games left, boys. That's exactly right. Well, you know, we're halfway done. Just like we talked before the game, this is just one more step.
Yes, sir.
It was a huge step.
Yes, sir.
But it was one more step. And now, 3 weeks of hard practice.
Hey, Coach, what's that?
Team pick. I didn't know it's Blackberry. No, I didn't. I don't care. Boys, you will run on Tuesday.
That's all right. Your phone's all right. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right. It's in there.
Right pocket.
All right. I'm going to give you, look, there are a lot of people here that, number one, want to congratulate you, but most importantly, we need to thank them. You know, a lot of people here who write a lot of checks so we can do what we do. You know, they pay your tuition, they write checks to dues, they write checks on road trips, they do a lot of things, and they come and they travel with us and they support us. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 30 minutes or so, whatever you want, to enjoy this, and then let's get this stuff taken down.
That includes banners.
And you know, that's right. And you know, and we'll give you, let's take a little time and enjoy this, and then we're going to start planning for Utah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Danny Adams. I'm a history major, play 8-man, and I enjoy playing rugby because I like representing Tennessee.
My name's Lee Bogich. I'm a sophomore here at UT. Major is English with a concentration in literature, and I love Tennessee rugby because of competition and camaraderie.
Hi, my name is Graham Boyd. I'm a sophomore at UT. My major is physics, and I am a wing on the rugby team.
I'm Taylor Bozarth, and I'm a sophomore this year, and I play fly half and wing. And I love rugby because of the aggression level, how fast-paced it is.
We all keep it fun, and not that everyone's like too serious. We know how to be serious when the time comes for it, but for all as a group of friends, hanging out and playing a sport that we all like. So.
I'm Brent Buckner II. I'm a senior here at the University of Tennessee. I'm a major in sociology with a concentration in criminal justice, and I love playing rugby. Just be able to get out there and hit somebody. And, it's great conditioning.
Hi, Joe Carpenter. I'm a sophomore here at the University of Tennessee. I'm studying kinesiology. I play lock, and I love playing rugby because I love just hitting people, and I'm big, so it's fun.
I'm Luke Dyson. I'm a freshman, a major in logistics. I play wing, and my favorite part about rugby is being with a group of guys, getting to know a bunch of players at UT my first year, and getting to play on weekends is a lot of fun.
My name's Nick Evans. I'm a senior in logistics at UT. I've played for a lot of select sides around the world, and the reason I like Tennessee rugby the best is probably all the guys that I've met here and the lasting relationships that I'll have.
My name's Keith Henderson, also known as Mowgli in the younger years of UT Rugby, and I'm studying anthropological sciences. And the reason that I love UT Rugby is basically every single memory I have with college is either with rugby or with our rugby buddies, and it just creates such a strong camaraderie and brotherhood. And to be honest, it's fun. It's my vacation away from school and stress.
Hi, I'm Lucas Herrera, electrical engineering, 5th year playing rugby. And I love playing it and spending time with these boys because they're my teammates.
My name is Matt Johnson. I'm a senior, and my major is food and agribusiness. I play number 8 inside center. UT, it's meant a great bunch of friends. It's meant a lot of competition and a whole lot of fun, too.
Hi, my name is Jack Johnstone, and I'm a senior in food science and technology with a minor in chemistry. I currently play an inside or outside center, depending on what coach wants me to do. And I'd say my favorite thing about rugby is that I didn't even know what it was 2 years ago, and I came out here and these guys showed me how to play, and it's become one of my favorite sports.
I'm Charles Jones. I'm a senior at University of Tennessee, Knoxville. I'm studying food science, and the thing I love most about Tennessee rugby is the fact you have camaraderie. You have guys that's you're there for them and they're there for you, and you feel like you're a part of something. That's why I love Tennessee rugby.
Hi, my name is Matt Jordan. I'm a sophomore in marketing here at the University of Tennessee, and I play 8-man on the rugby team.
My name's Lail, junior. That's roughly sociology major. I do that because I'm not a people person. It's just the easiest major to graduation. I play prop, and I play rugby because I like to tackle people.
I'm Colin Lumb. I'm a sophomore from Memphis, Tennessee. I play wing, and I just love the atmosphere. I love traveling. I love the game itself. It's a lot of fun.
My name is James Logan McNeil. I am a freshman majoring in biomedical engineering, and I play hooker.
My name is Zack Mobius. I'm a second-year junior. I'm double majoring in accounting and finance and logistics.
I'm majoring in sociology with concentration in criminal justice. It has been a critical part of my academics, just being involved in extracurricular activities.
All right, to me, Tennessee rugby, it's all about camaraderie. You know, I mean, we're out here building relationships with people. Most of us didn't know anybody before we got here, you know, but over 4 years, you know, we've become one big tight family. You know, anything that happens to one of us, you know, happens to all of us, and it's really tight knit group of guys. But we still like to have a good time, and we still go out there and win games, and that's the important part. So, go Vols!
My name is Drew Randolph, and I'm a junior, and my major is civil engineering. I play hooker and inside center.
Hi, I'm George Richardson. I'm a fifth-year senior on the University of Tennessee rugby team, and I play wing, a little bit of fullback, and I love rugby, man. It's great. It's awesome to get a little bit of a break from the classes, to get out here, get a little bit of exercise, and spend time with a bunch of great guys.
Hi, I'm Nathan Ring. I'm a UT rugby player, number 15 fullback. I'm a sports management major here at UT. My favorite thing about UT rugby has to be growing out my mustache a little bit and just my teammates enjoying the time.
Hi, my name is Rick Wheeler. I'm a senior at the University of Tennessee. It's my 4th year playing rugby. I guess the best reason I can think of playing rugby is the brotherhood. It's the greatest group of guys I can even think of. So,
I'm Derek Wolf. I'm a freshman at University of Tennessee, and I came to Tennessee because I love rugby and I have always wanted to be a volunteer.
My name is Elliott Woodall. I'm a junior at UT. My major is business management. I'm a scrum half for the team. And the best thing about UT rugby is the friendships we make.